Hey friends, welcome back to the kitchen here at Markelly Farm. I've got to whip up a really quick dessert recipe tonight. Mom's requesting some rice pudding, and I like to take her a taste of home every now and then. She's in the nursing home down there. So we're going to put that together. If you want to learn how to make the best rice pudding around, a good Portuguese recipe, stick around. So let's get started. You want a real nice heavy bottom pot. I'm using my big stainless steel pot. Start out with 2 sticks of butter, which is 1 cup. Now the recipe I use based on 2 of everything, so it would generally be 2 cups of sugar, but Mom does not put as much sugar in her rice pudding when she makes it. She doesn't like it with the full 2 cups, so I'm using 1.5 cups of just regular sugar. Next thing is 2 cups of rice. You want to use a short grain, a pearl rice, or an arborio rice. You don't want to use long grain for this recipe. I have found that this 12-ounce package of arborio rice is right at 2 cups. So we'll dump this whole package in. The next thing is 2 quarts of milk, or 1/2 gallon. I say 2 quarts because that 2 of everything rule. So we're using 2 quarts of our good whole cow's milk that we get. You can see the cream, heavy cream on top of that. Good stuff. Get all that cream in there too. Okay, we're just going to give that a stir, bring everything together, get that sugar loosened up in there. And then we're going to start this thing on about medium to start with. Just before we get to a simmer, we're going to put that all the way down on low. And we're going to put the lid on it. Now you want to come stir it about every 8 minutes or so to make sure you're not sticking to the bottom. You want to cover that whole bottom with your stirring spoon, and you're just going to simmer this until the rice puffs up and it turns into like a pudding consistency. But we'll show you what that looks like. Now there's only 1 ingredient left at the end right before we pour it into a pan, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So our whole recipe is 2 cubes or 2 sticks of butter. We called them cubes back in the day, sorry. 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of rice, short grain or pearl rice, and 2 quarts of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's it. And then we'll do 2 teaspoons or thereabouts of cinnamon on top when we're all done. So everything's 2s. Now the main reason Mom wants this is where she used to live. She had a friend there named Peggy, and Peggy had an accident or something where she broke something, and she had to go up where Mom is now for rehab, so she's been able to visit with her and stuff. But Peggy is going to be moving to another facility probably this week, and when Mom used to live in the same place that she lived over there, Mom would make rice pudding every now and then and share it with everybody there. And Peggy really liked the rice pudding. So Mom asked me to bring some before Peggy left the facility because she doesn't know if she'll ever even see Peggy again. So they wanted to get together and have rice pudding. So we're going to make it happen. Got our low simmer going, as you can see. Coming in here and keeping everything off the bottom. Now the reason you cook it with a lid on, you don't want your liquid to evaporate. You want it to go back in the pan. If you don't cook it with a lid on, sometimes it'll thicken without your rice getting all the way cooked. And in fact, when we get to the end where we're getting to like a pudding consistency, We'll taste some of that rice and make sure it's not al dente. You don't want al dente rice in rice pudding. Now another little twist I like to make on this rice pudding, I'll replace some of the milk in the mix with some coconut milk. Not the really thick stuff, you get the watery stuff. And the coconut adds a really good flavor to this also. I've made chocolate rice pudding before where you add some cocoa to the mix. And I've actually put flaked coconut in the mix before too. Some people will put raisins in their rice pudding. I'm not a big fan of that. I like this plain simple rice pudding with a little bit of cinnamon on top. That's the way the old Portuguese people that I was around used to do it. Good stuff. We just stirred our mix. You can see it's getting a little thicker in there. Almost done. Now that we're getting close, we need to get in here and get a little bit of rice and see if it's cooked. Yep, there's no crunchy bits in that. So as soon as this gets thick like pudding, and we're almost there, you can see it'll be all ready to go. Now if it was still really al dente, all you'd have to do is just add a little more water into the mix and just continue to let it simmer until that rice was soft. You can see our mixture is thick like pudding now, and it'll get thicker as it cools. So we are done. We're going to turn the fire off here. We're going to add our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Stir that in. And then we're going to dump it in a foil pan because we don't have to want to worry about bringing that home. And very lastly, we do a little bit of cinnamon on top. Try not to get too much in one area. Probably plenty. Oh, got my little taster over here. Put a little cinnamon on that. Now most of the time this stuff is eaten cold, but it's really good warm. Give it a try while it's still warm. Been a long time since I had any rice pudding. Very yummy. Now, a lot of folks back in the day would eat rice in the morning, like a breakfast cereal. They would take cooked rice and stir a little milk in it with some sugar, just like you would porridge or cream of wheat or oatmeal, and just eat rice that way. My mom actually did that with some leftover rice when she was in Japan, and everybody thought she was crazy, all the Japanese people, for putting sugar and milk in her rice. Very tasty. Even if you don't think you're going to like rice pudding, give this a try because it's really, really good. All right, there you go, Mom. You'll have that in the morning. Well, it's been a long day and it's time to hit the hay. So, got a lot of things planned for tomorrow. Had a long day today. So, hope you enjoyed the rice pudding and I hope you try it. Super good. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys. Come back and see us here at the farm.
How long has it been since your mom's fixed Jello pudding for you?
A long time ago.
How long?
A long, long time
But
ago.
she knows it's good for you, right? And she knows that you love it, right? Well, maybe she forgot. Maybe I should remind her. Moms, you know how the kids love Jello pudding, and you make it with fresh milk, so it's wholesome. And you haven't made Jello pudding for them since...
Last night.
Last what? Kids love Jello brand pudding.